Hello and welcome back to another episode of White Details, a very special vehicle this time, a 1965 Aston Martin DB2-4. The vehicle is finished in Aston Martin magnetic silver metallic, following a lengthy 9-year restoration process. The vehicle is used, it's driven, it's owned as intended, it's taken out on rallies, it's just come back from Italy on a road rally, it's going to multiple rallies next year in 2024. The objective of the detail is to finalise and finish the car in an aesthetics and protection point of view, in readiness for an event at Christmas whereby the car has been handpicked and selected as one of very few cars to be on display at the Aston Martin Owners Club Christmas Ball. As you've seen, there's various defects, hazing, abrasions, tight clusters of perhaps sanding marks left behind on the paint from the body shop. There are a couple of bad scuffs on the near side front edge, which we'll deal with later. But first things first, outside for the wash and decontamination process. But actually that wasn't as simple as one had originally hoped. After a little head scratching, it turns out the vehicle had very limited amounts of fuel in the tank. Because the car is going to be indoors at the hotel on display, there's a requirement for minimal fuel reserves for safety reasons. So after a quick diversion on the road to go and get some super unleaded, once the pump had fully primed, I'm pleased to say, she started no problem. There was no fuel in the car, John. Unfortunately, the wheels weren't coming off in this job. They were to stay on the vehicle, so I had to do what I could with the wire wheels in situ. Kind of a basic wash and cleanse whilst outside. I will come back to the wheels once indoors and dry much later in the week. And as you can see, the car's not exactly watertight. The pressure wash was very much reduced in terms of the power, and a couple of heavy towels were left in the window jambs just to prevent any ingress on the interior. Following the pre-rinse and the 2-bucket wash system, the chemical tar remover was used on the lower portions of the vehicle. And then we're heading back inside to dry the vehicle down and to start the clay bar decontamination process. Okay, so a quick update. Today is actually Friday. The last piece of footage you saw on the Aston was Tuesday. Tuesday afternoon, I finished early, I updated the customer. I ended up in severe pain. Nerve damage in my left arm, basically. I've got full mobility. I can do all my fingers without any increased pain or serious sort of uncomfort. But just over a couple of months ago, I went out on the motorcycle. I went out for a weekend's ride, a good few, sort of 6 or 7 hours worth of riding. And at which point, the Monday morning, I woke with a really bad back, neck, and tingly fingers. The pain developed over the next week into my shoulder, my arm, tricep, forearm, all down my left side. I went to the GPs, went to the doctors. I had 2-3 lots of physio. I had acupuncture in my trapezius, which seemed to be the source of the problem. At the time, I actually booked a week and a half off work. I cancelled a big job, postponed that, got back to work. There's various PPF jobs, so at least there was no vibration, there was no polishing. And after, I would say 4 weeks, the pain was on a pain level, 2 or a 3, 3 or a 4. It was there, it was uncomfortable, but it was forgettable. But then Saturday, just gone, I was lifting and shifting some furniture, and then that Saturday night, my pain sort of redeveloped. Sunday got a bit worse, but hey, at least it's not as bad as it was back in October, 2 months ago. So I started work on the Monday, and it's just progressively got worse. I wrapped up and finalised by 4:30, 4:45 Tuesday, updated the customer with a video, got home, showered, got on the sofa in the most uncomfortable position, and overwhelming pain rushed through my body, left me in a bit of a panic attack moment, which is something I've never experienced. Phoned 111 helpline, the National Health Service line, and I couldn't get a sentence out. I was struggling for breath. I was in a real situation. Long story short, got to hospital 7 p.m. I wasn't seen by the doctor until 7:30 the following morning, so over 12 hours sat waiting. And I am awaiting an MRI scan. I think what it is the motorcycle riding, I believe, did trigger a bit of a weak point, or it ruptured something along the way. It's become apparent that I think a lot of the damage has been caused by vibration from polishing over the years, which is of slight concern going forward. I had 2 small jobs at this side of Christmas, which I've actually postponed until mid-January now, just to give myself 5 or 6 weeks of rest, for hopefully the arm to come back to some sort of strength. There's possible surgery to consider following the MRI results, or if not, injections in very accurate locations for the C6 and C7 nerve down my left arm. Years gone by, for the last 4 or 5 years, I have moaned and complained about my left elbow being sore when the temperatures drop. So it's been coming for a while. Obviously, one problem I've got going forward is the Aston sat on the ramp behind me. Now, I don't feel as though picking up the polisher is the best move. Even just repositioning the tripod just then, I have yelped in pain. It's odd, I can do all this without any problems, but then all of a sudden it just spikes. It pulses pain all the way down. There's a good amount of polishing, paint correction left on the car, and it is being prepped for this event in a couple of weeks' time for an Aston Martin Owners Christmas Club event. Options are I dust it all down, wipe it down, clean the glass, sort the wheels, dress the tyres, polish some chrome by hand. I do have the car until next Thursday until it's being picked up, so there is still time for me to rest and recover, or I try and get somebody in to help. So yeah, there we go, a bit of an update. I'd like to say it's not going to be too much of a hindrance once I'm fully back up to speed, recovered and healthy. Perhaps starting the PPF when I did, it was a very good shout. Heavy paint correction and the polishing, it is quite tough, and it probably looks quite glamorous in a 20, 30, 40 minute video on YouTube or Instagram Reels, but it's constant, and unfortunately for me, I think I've paid the price. I've come back in today just to get out of the house, and I'm probably going to wipe over the wheels and do a few areas that I feel comfortable doing for now, and then we'll see what the rest of the week or early into next week may bring. Just working with the 1 inch around the door handle, just getting nice and neat and tight underneath here, so it's all crisp and true throughout. Check this out. It's clear that when the paint was prepped and sanded and polished, a lot of the chrome work, the handles especially, was still in place. We've got some sanding marks there. The DA catching the top of the handle. And I imagine the perimeter is masked off, but they've clearly not masked off the bulk of it. So the rest of the chrome work, the mirrors, the headlights around at the front, the window surrounds there, and the handles will be polished up eventually towards the end of the job. You can see in here around the hinge mech at the back there, it's all a bit frosty, a bit grimy, built up. Now with regards to my arm, today is Monday. Really I shouldn't be here, I shouldn't be doing this, but I do feel somewhat obliged, or not pressured. My health obviously comes first, but it is a lot better. It feels a lot better. I'm on my meds, I've been doing my stretches and stuff, it's there still, I still sleep uncomfortably, but this has been a 10 years in the making project for this client. And this event in Christmas for my client is the sort of end of, is the cherry on the top. So something they were very much looking forward to. But the car's going regardless, but it'd be great for the car to be at its best, rather than a half-finished project. So after this, I very much will be taking it steady with 5 weeks off. Here's one for you. So, around the light cluster, it's looking pretty good now, one would say. But actually, the fact that we're pretty close with the handheld, look, the light blooms. It sort of just washes the area out. Now, if I give you a second just to sort of investigate this area, and you think, oh yeah, it's nice and sharp, lots of metallic. Watch as I bring the light backwards. That bloominess is going to reveal that actually on the edge of the panel there, next to the cluster, I can't really see a great deal at that point. Light goes back, defects, abrasions close to this side of the light repeater. Underneath, haven't yet been under there. Also on the camera, when it's too bright and washed out with the exposure sort of thing, it can really help things. Like even now, I'm quite close, killing the, what's it called? Not exposure, forget what it's called anyway. But you can lower that, send the light further back. Not only using that technique for sort of documenting for pictures and photos and videos, but also just generally inspecting your work. If you like that all the time, you might think, yeah, good job. But actually there's a little bit left there still to do. Modesta's primer is down. Honestly, I'm quite amazed that I've been able to do that. It's stupid, it's silly, I shouldn't have. I should have probably left it where it was and followed orders and stopped, but it was a lot better. The pain in my arm, I'm trying to get various compression gloves and help with whatever else, but I couldn't be happier with the finish. This really will stand out at said Christmas dinner, Christmas ball, which the vehicle is being prepped for. Two-stage paint correction, chasing surface defects, abrasions, sander marks left behind from the paint shop, a mechanical cutting phase to dig out and remove the defects, followed by a refining stage which clears up my polishing mess itself, alcohol wipe down, touch-ups, Modesta primer, and then Modesta's coatings tomorrow. That'll do for today. It's 5:15, back in first thing tomorrow. Get the coatings down. Do the infrared curing process for the coating. All of the chrome, the glass, the door shuts, fettle areas in the engine bay. It's not a full booking in that respect, but I've got a day left. The vehicle leaves not tomorrow, but the day after in the morning. that brings the end of a rather worrying, challenging, painful fortnight, but also the end to another busy year for WhiteDetails 2023. That is me done. My arm, I can still feel it, it's still a problem, it's still an annoyance. Pain level 3, 4, I'm still on the meds, but now I will rest. I do have 5 weeks off now to chill, to rest, and hopefully get back to full recovery. But I just didn't want to be a letdown. I didn't want to let the customer down with the job, as I said in the video. This has been a 10-year in the making project for the client, and this Christmas event for the vehicle to be invited to be a guest appearance. This was going to be the icing on the cake and the cherry on the top, and sort of to draw the line on the car's restoration. And it's an honour to have been part of that. So to recap, the car received a 2-stage paint correction process, up to 80, 90, if not more % defect removal, following the full respray a year or so ago. Topped with Modesta's BTX, and then bit of detailing here and there. Toothpickery to remove old compound from the crevices, the rubbers, the door shuts, the polish, the chromes. All my battery light is flashing. Be right back. So yeah, I'm really pleased. I couldn't be happier, and I'm sure the owner will be delighted as well. Sadly, they're not coming here in person, so I won't be able to film their reaction. It's being picked up on cover transporter, as I say, tomorrow morning. So just finally, once again, thank you for your support over the last 12 months. It's been a busy old year. Yeah. Be sure to find my details over on Instagram. For daily behind the scenes and updates. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Give the video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this episode. Have yourselves a wonderful Christmas. Have a happy new year. Take care. See you in 2024. And bye for now. I'm pleased to say at this point that the Aston did indeed make it safely to the ball at the Peninsula Hotel in London. The vehicle was one of a small handful of cars present, and John was awarded the Rory McGregor Piston Award for the Aston Martin Lagonda Restoration Project. Congratulations, John. A lot of hard work put into this project over the last 9 years, and it's been a pleasure to have been able to help in the very final stages.